This demo showcases the latest improvements to the Projectile plugin. The Projectile plugin is used to launch attacks against enemies or enemies back to the player characters that are projectiles. Talespire Core comes with a magic missile projectile, but that's just one possible attack. So the Projectile plugin allows you to create custom projectiles to use, and also you can even build custom projectile paths. So the latest improvements to the Projectile plugin is that the orientation is now automatically aligned with the path of the projectile. So you can throw things or shoot things like arrows, which have a direction to them. And there is now two different ways to select the attacks. One of them, the traditional way that was already in the previous version, and now there is a secondary way to make selections, which can be faster when you have to select multiple targets. So let's get started. So let's first show the orientation. So if I select the attacker here, then I select my victim. I am going to select projectiles here, and here I'm going to use the arrow attack. And we can see that that arrow was definitely pointing in the direction of the enemy. Now, if I do the same thing over again, and I fire it in a completely different direction, we can see the arrow has adjusted the direction so that it is pointing in the direction of travel. So that's one improvement. And now the second way to select attacks. So the original way was in line with core Talespire, where you basically select the mini of the attacker, and then you right-click on the victim, and you select an attack, and that triggers the attack. Now, the problem with that is if you do an attack that requires multiple targets. So I'm going to select my attacker. I'm going to go victim. I'm going to go with Chaos Orb, which requires 3 target selections. So I've now made 1 target selection. Now I've got to right click, I've got to go into projectiles, make the second selection, and then once again, if I want a third, I have to go right click, projectiles, third, and then it fires off. So as you can see, the additional selections are a little bit cumbersome because you have to right click, you have to go into the projectile menu and select the only option there. So what we've done is we've added a second method of selecting attacks, and this is more aligned, instead of the core Talespire concept of selecting an attacker and right selecting the victim. This is more in line with actual game sequence, where you would select the attacker, you would select the attack that you want to perform, and now you pick off your targets. And as we could see, we got a message up there saying select 1 of 3 targets. So I'm going to select target 1. I immediately get a message. I need to select target 2. And you can see that all I'm doing here is just clicking on the mini that I want to select as a target. I don't have to open up the radial menu. I don't have to make a projectile menu selection. I just click on the target, and that's it. That triggers the attack. So again, the process for this faster method is to select the mini of the attacker, open up the radial menu, and select your attack. And then again, you'll be told how many targets you need to select to execute that attack. Now, the only thing you need to be careful about is when you are initiating the sequence, you do need to make sure that the mini is selected before doing the radial menu. Because if you've got another menu another character selected, and you try to do the radial menu, well, it's going to go back to the original concept where now this is an attacker, this is the victim, and you're going to get that. So the selected menu and the radial menu have to be the same for the fast method to initiate. So for one target selection, it's going to be the same amount of work because you still need to select a mini, radial select a mini, and make a menu selection. But for multiple targets, it is going to speed things up because you're going to declare your attack and then just pick off the targets that you want to attack. And that's about it.